Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to my... It's me, Yoshi, and welcoming you back to my 100% playthrough of Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch, the game everyone seems to launch on this channel now, clearly. That's why we're bringing you another one here. In the last episode, we finished Marin's Battle and Boss Challenge A rank. Now we have to do the same thing again with Toon Zelda. Good news, we're down to our third last character. After this, there'll be just 2 more, and we'll finally be done with challenge mode. And at this point, afterwards, I don't know what to do. I could finish it all at once, or I could stick with what I was doing before. Either way, we'll be moving on to a different secondary game once it is concluded. So, we'll make sure to do that. It's fine. But yeah. Honestly, looking at it now, I'm very stoked to finally be almost done with this part. This is definitely one of the more repetitive parts of the game. Honestly, if I was doing this just 100%, I'd probably just do it with one character and ignore the others. It seems okay enough to do one time, but after that, it kind of gets very repetitive. And just in case anybody doesn't get confused about our setups, my current main playthrough right now is on Switch 2. We're playing through Mario Kart World right now. It's going pretty well. We're actually about to finish 150cc mode, and then we'll basically focus on doing the more annoying mode that pretty much everybody remembers. Of course, everybody probably knows by now. That's the dream roam mode I'm talking about. 100%ing that is probably the most tedious thing of all. To try and get around that tediousness, I've split it up into a few parts now, and I'm only now going to focus on 100%ing it once now that, once I finish 150cc mode and that's currently what I'm on right now. So that'll be interesting to do. But yeah, other than that, just doing the same stuff over and over again. It's got a bad special. It didn't help though that I attacked enemies. Right, I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way, or rather, the way I used to do this. Go to each one of these guys and just once with a special. That's a really long animation, actually. No, I've changed my mind. I'm gonna use magic anyway. There we go. Now the reinforcements have come, we can really start chipping away at them. Now we have no choice but to basically keep going until we finish it. I will say this is probably the most tedious part of the whole challenge mode right here, just trying to use all these special attacks to defeat enemies with. In other modes, what made it so much more simpler is there were often more enemies that you can stack into various areas, which you can then defeat very quickly with specials if you waited long enough. In here, you start with very little enemies special at all, so it almost feels like it's worthless until the second part. You start coming more frequently. Anyway, especially around, it's kind of screaming quite a bit as we go through. By the way, if anybody wonders, this is not the traditional Zelda, but the one from Legend of Zelda Sphere Tracks. You ever wonder why she's like this? Go ask. It's probably a very detail that nobody wants to know. In fact, I'll just tell you right now, just looking at Sphere Tracks. Game by standard, well, I did almost beat it back in the day. I do remember it was quite a dark game, especially for the Zelda franchise, so I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to make you guys scared of it, so I'll just save you the trouble and say that it was kind of one of the more scarier Legend of Zelda titles around. Hope that is on a DS of all things, but I guess that was back when the DS was still really good. Like, nowadays, it hasn't been ported to any other system for a while, so yeah, it's kind of hard to do. Hard to play that kind of a game now. Oh, yeah, I guess this works in our favor. God, we need to use Focus Spirit here. Stuffing those extra enemies, we might get more spawns sooner. So now we get to actually fight for a bit again. Go. Oh, it's going a little bit better than normal. Okay, that actually had a full magic. Good. Sometimes that won't always have full magic. Sometimes it'll be something else entirely. Oh, we got that as well, so keep this magic going for a bit. There we go. Still earning those A ranks that we need. Remember, we don't actually need A ranks in this. Oh, wow, that was a very weird timing for that magic stuff. I didn't get a chance to beat this magic into there. A very weird time for it to beat 50 other enemies to pop up. It did the thing, going on to the next wave, but then it did 50 other enemies before spawning, so that was a very weird time for that to happen. To be honest, I've never actually many enemies before that point, or it's usually been way before that point. After, actually. So, I got threw me for a loop there for a second, because I wasn't expecting it. That's right there. Just a few of it sooner I would have hit Wizroll with that magic, but instead we got nothing. Anyway, we're about to finish this battle off, so yeah. If you're wondering what their standard special is, it's basically this. It's actually pretty strong at taking out some of the bosses now. So it is a strategy you can use. Actually pretty good at taking out some giant bosses too if you can combo it with other abilities. It's just kind of tricky to use at first. Right. Let's just go right into this victory animation, why not? Alright. Now that that's done, gotta move on to the next battle. He was about to weapon space anyway, wow. Okay. It's fine by me. Alright. Let's move through these quickly. We're into Rush Battle next. We're not going for that more powerful weapon, by the way, because as you see, more of our better skills are on this weapon. So it's easier to just use this And honestly, since we're not going to be using the characters for much longer, I felt it wasn't really worth it getting each one at 750 power, 8-slotted weapons. It's kind of random, so I kind of just took what the game gave us, kind of rolled with that. Oh yeah, she could summon the Food Circle too. Also, now we get a little bit of a showdown here. Zelda versus Regular Zelda. Who will win? Clearly this one that I'm playing right now is gonna win right now. Clearly, that's anyway, let's keep going for this. Just keep doing our stuff. I'm very, I guess I'm gonna say it now. There's been people confused otherwise. But yeah, I am very excited to almost be done this playthrough. We started back in like 2020 or something later. This playthrough is at least probably 5 years old by this point or something like that. We started it at an earlier time and then just kind of stopped it. I wanted to play everything. I just kind of went in and off on it for a while until I started to do different strategies. He's not even attacking. I'm trying to wait for him to attack because of course I use a big thrust. Okay, honestly, that's not actually that strong at that particular piece. We'll just use specials. Most figuring out the how they do the most damage to bad bosses is to first figure out how their combos are. It's the easiest way to figure out what to use. Alright, so now we'll use magic again. This is one of our bigger AoEs. This. That's a really fast one special. Could be comboed into the natural special, which is this. These polymers go fun to use, I guess. Just saying that's the only opportunity you have, because if you do an extra, it just leads into the basic combo, which is that. Basic combo is so much strong now because of the AoE at the end. So this is one of those few characters as a result where we actually use all yourself. Also, this ending to our match is also quite common and quite iconic, rather. Played Sphere Tracks. Because this whatever, apparently she's really serious brat, actually. So it's kind of funny that that's how the magic ends. When you finish that off. Big reference to Sphere Tracks there. Anybody play that game? Alright, it's a okay game. Best Zelda game? Probably not. You never know. Anyway, enough of that. Just kind of slashing these enemies around, what we can do. Actually, kind of surprised she has a lot of sometimes characters have 5 different, including a standard special. Others have less. I just have to have fun. It doesn't really do much else. probably just using this way to take out most of the troops. Alien and one more magic and we'll probably be done now afterwards. I guess I should also mention, yes, this is not originally a character you saw in the base game. Hyrule Warriors and all. This was added not until the 3DS version. A lot of this is supposedly based off the 3DS version of Hyrule Legend. 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors, basically, that included this character as a playable DLC. You had to purchase marijuana and other stuff. If you did this in the other version of the 3DS, you would also get a new map in the form of Grand Travel Map. You saw, yes, that was also a regular DLC too. You had to buy it along with this character, and you could even do it in a way that also allowed for gameplay in the Wii version, but they would just be a standard character you could play as. You wouldn't get any other weapons with them. Look like my usual self, but I can help out. Clearly, that's she is. That's what she is able to do, I guess. Anyways, yes, this was originally a DLC character. Of course, with Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch, a big advantage it has is it doesn't have any DLC to buy at all, and instead combines all the DLC into one game, and she makes this the most convenient version if you want to do absolutely everything. Still surprisingly well made, despite it having not received many updates for past gosh who knows how long it's been out. It still has quite a few too. Maybe some day this will get released have some bugs fixed, and maybe the multiplayer will be fixed too. I heard the multiplayer is quite buggy. To be fair, they probably designed it that people would just play this game as a solo game in mind. Oh goodness, Redad, could you chill for a second? Oh goodness. What an harder time for them to do that attack. Alright. Let's keep going then. If anybody is, just so that nobody gets confused, if anybody's wondering how I'm able to do so much damage with fairy magic, this is probably the single most overpowered thing in the whole game. You can basically, if you know how to set this up, you can basically make your troop count skyrocket incredibly fast. This is the single most broken thing in the game, that is fairy magic. Basically, if you max a fairy up to level 50 to 95, then give them some stats that make their moves more powerful, you can basically make them incredibly strong. Wait here. What the was more reinforcements? Maybe I didn't defeat enough. I'll do it again then. Didn't get enough. There we go, now we have enough. Had to use an extra magic here, unfortunately, but what can you do sometimes? Okay, we did that a lot faster than the last characters. Probably because we were able to not get interrupted this time around. And we beat a few more enemies than usual, I guess, so that helped out. Alright. And now we we move on to boss challenge now again. But yes, originally this game had 3 different versions. The Wii U version, which is what I grew up playing. The 3DS version, which was the first remake that added in the fairy magic. That's when fairy magic was initially added in, and it was still pretty broken in that game, despite not as many enemies loading in. And then the definitive version combines all the DLC and other stuff, including the new features from 3DS as well, and this version, as a result, also has fairies. In both versions, they are incredibly broken, because if you set up Magic Fountain Plus in particular with a strong fairy magic combo, you can basically just beat many missions that require you to normally defeat a certain amount of enemies within a certain time frame. In literally, like, almost minutes at a time. Some of these missions that are supposed to be a little bit longer, yeah, you can do them in like 1 mess, so yeah, they're pretty easy strategy. I think this is probably our best AoE chance at hitting them, so we're just gonna spam this thing move over and over again. Actually, this Inter doesn't have the best when it comes to AoE, so we'll probably just have to do a normal extreme crush them down once to smash them, and they keep getting up, keep using extreme crush to keep knocking them back down over and over again, and then over and over again until we, how much you can really do here. It didn't help that that other dongle was really far away for some reason. We need at least 2 or 3 of these, I think, to easily win this battle. I don't think I have hasty attacks on this either. Almost got it without magic. Just gonna take me for a ride, huh? Okay, not a bad time about that. I made that work pretty fine. Alright, now we can beat them. Okay, so just looking at the basis of what happened, I'm probably gonna be better off just specialing with this character. At least this character has a decent special range, so that could work out. So yeah, I had quite a few different strategies planned for these battles. The whole strategies involved me just specialing the enemies until I died and not using any magic or knockdowns, just and seeing what happened. But it typically only worked best when we were able to attack multiple enemies at once. Toon Zelda is a decent special, so I think I'm gonna just go for the aggressive strat here and see what happens. The rest of the strategy, by the way, involves us using Special Fountain and just specialing the enemies to death instead. But I'm just gonna do that both times. We're not gonna even bother using Extreme Crush. I want to see how that works with some of the enemies. Now, if we had if we had anti-boss for it as well, we could probably also just skip both effects, but I think it's easier to just do magic and special stuff. Alright, so because of this, we have to do this a little differently now. Use this, Special Fountain, and yeah, this is the strategy I used to want to do, because it was more consistent. It's best done when there's a massive AoE we can use, because then we can just hit multiple bosses at once. And it seems to be working just fine. They're actually taking quite a bit of damage from this. This is also really good against the opponents like the Item Feast, because they'll pretty much get annihilated. Of course, this doesn't always work really well. Some bosses are just way too tanky and just take way too long to get defeated. It also gets a little tedious when there's more than me, so we're gonna try to maybe bait these Gomas to come in a bit closer. Also, Goma regularly blocks special attacks, so it's actually probably easier to do a mixed version of the normal strat. Well, just doing a few attacks first and then spamming specials for the other half, because she will regularly block your specials for some reason, and that does 0 damage. Well, enough to hit the other Goma. Okay, now I am. Barely. It's very tight timing now. See, she's blocking my attack too, so I didn't even see her taking the damage. So if we're going to take her, will almost always be faster to just do a normal strategy that involves a mix of specialing and also using your normal special. So hopefully get a weakness in there. For the other bosses though, this works really easy. It works really good though. She doesn't also always block too, so if you want to hit her in an AoE, you'll probably best off first at extreme a little bit. She can't do anything. Alright, I'm about to finish the spell, so I don't really care about my summoning right here. So we're gonna be done with this spell pretty soon anyway. Like that, it's done. I have finished this with one of the other still alive, I think, one time, but I think we need the 4 usually. I think sticky with what's consistent is better than what's faster. If you didn't know about all the enemy types, if you didn't know about the fact you didn't have to defeat all the giant bosses here, then you'd probably think to just go and taking out everybody, and yeah, that would take too long. But turns out you don't have to take them all out. Alright. Just make sure we have this on. Pretty soon we'll be not using any of these again for a while, because I kind of want to play hero mode of this without even using any cheats. So I think I'll do it so that it's more, do it like that, so it's more like the original game. We're still at max level though, so we're probably still gonna annihilate the game. It's just gonna make it more interesting, because it'll be like I'm playing the Wii version basically all over again. No fairy magic, no easy way to get magic back, so you kind of just have to use it wherever you feel like using it. Hard Rock is kind of another really confusing one, so I'm gonna do an alteration of the strat, which uses specials and then Extreme Crush together. Oh gosh, I did not hit the other one. How far do I have to be to hit him? Okay, this is not a good setup. We'll just kill this one first then. So yeah, this is basically all you want to do for if you're trying to do this the easy way. You just spam circles until it. We don't want to take their weakness. This animation is slightly faster using that. Again, go old bot messes away. It's not what I'm intending to do. Well, I'm not interested in taking out Goma this time. That would simply take too long. I'm definitely not interested in taking out the Ardrox, especially if they don't want to just fight each other. So we're just gonna run over here to go in somewhere else so we can do the Manangela spam strategy instead. This is probably my favorite part of this setup, because you just get all these bosses grouped up together and then you just AoE them all down all at once. It's really fun to watch. Okay, we'll try it. I think I initially almost got pretty popular, but I think it was just a bit off. So yeah, this is how you kind of destroy the game in terms of quickly taking out the. Just use this over and over again until they start That's all you do. Anti-Osprey just makes short work of the bosses if you have a good AoE. But it only really works if you have a good AoE. Otherwise, it can be really hard. I'm just gonna String Crush and defeat this last one that's in my face. Okay, skipped at least one of the animations. Finishing him off that way. Sure enough, the Avergoma followed me here anyway. See, I figured the Goa might just follow me here anyway. So normally these Ardrox just stay in their one corner. Sometimes they'll get unlucky and they'll just try charging you instead for some reason. Just won't leave you alone. That's why originally, if you don't have a good AoE, you just want to go and defeat those Ardrox instead. But that's already so different from doing the normal strategy that it can be kind of confusing to figure out which one it is. Anyways, we haven't seen a good AoE here in a while, so I figured since there's at least decent AoE, I would go for it. And sure enough, I think that was somewhat faster. It really depends on the animation. If you do not get a good AoE, then it's usually faster to just have the bosses one at a time on the other area. This is also one of the longer battles now, so changes that he made. Didn't help that, almost. It didn't help though that the Ardrox setup I did, we didn't hit both of them at once. So that alone probably slowed down a lot more. If we gotten that set up right away, the heavy would have been over by then. Much faster. That's fine. We're not really caring about speedrunning the game, we're just trying to... Mostly this is a mixed version of a casual playthrough plus trying to go fast, really. That's what it is. Because I don't want these to take forever after all. We have so much more content I want to get through. I'll probably speed for Legend Mode as well, so if you want to see a cutscenes, just check out the beginning of my playthrough. It's quite fun. There's a very good storyline this game gets into, I'll say that much. Here's a place to hold the String Crushes to make sure they're there, unfortunately. Which I could do. Might have to use a Magic Fountain early to deal with that. Being a problem otherwise. Either that, get this boot to finally open his mouth for a second. So of course he's not going to do that. There we go. So the reason why you want to stay so back is that for some reason Nikolai just opens his mouth more frequently. It doesn't guarantee that he does it, it just helps out a little bit. Do it. Probably will finish him off. Okay. One social seems to be fine enough. We better hit some of these enemies to get it back. Did not see that he was even doing that. Sucks when you're not paying attention. And he's not even attacking anymore. Turned off his brain for a second. I forgot I was there completely. Have to do one more special combo. A little tricky, but we did it. And now we really need this one to open his mouth, otherwise we're probably just gonna use magic on him. right here. Yeah, he's rolling. That's the worst thing I can do, because then it always messes up his pattern. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna respawn. We're gonna teach him for being a naughty boy. Bam. Just knock him down instead. Seem to have figured out a combo now. I don't know which boss we have to power up against. Probably Neighbor, because they are all right there. Some of the other different monsters that have different enemies with their weapons, however, or rather different elements. Will do slightly defeat certain giant bosses more quickly than others. Just depends on who you use. Of course, if you have a multi-tiered weapon, it can sometimes change to be a different weapon altogether. Do alteration strategy because Go is about to wake up. I should mention Go is by far the most annoying boss in my opinion to deal with because it's up way too fast. It's really quite annoying when not dealt with properly. You know, it seems simple. It's just way more complicated than you'd expect. Go and we'll be done. Right, well, it's about that time again. It's time to come back when the battle is... the timer is concluded, and with it, the battle as well. Until then, see ya. Bam. Alright, guys, the timer is concluded, and with it, the battle as well. Seems I will get... I'll get bored of saying that over and over again. It's gonna be interesting what I'll say after this cipher is completely done. Who knows, though. I do hope that if we do play through, assuming we're playing through Age of Calamity, actually it doesn't take nearly as long as this game. We don't know yet, though. As for the new game of the Hyrule Warriors series that's coming out on Switch 2, we still have to wait for that. I have no clue what that will be, but I do know it's gonna be gonna have similar graphics to that of the newer series of Hyrule games, like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Because it's set in that universe, to be fair, so that alone is gonna make it really cool to play. Alright, right here, listen to me, attack me right away. I don't like it's probably easier than just attacking enemies initially to get and satchel right away. And the fastest way to take out Ganon is better than I could have pulled otherwise. Don't want to ever really let Ganon get up or else Ganon just does lots of choices. Oh wow, that delay did the magic beat thing first, so as a result, you get some so much later. Ooh. Time. Almost got it totally there. Almost did anyway. It's right there, let's pull it down to the ground so we can get next. That did not work really well at all. We're gonna have to use 2 specials now. This will hurt the other Archrock as well while we're here now. So we still had to do one more attack. Oh, we somehow made that work. Despite all that happened there. It was kind of fun because of what we did there, though. This time we got the cobble right. This is what we wanted to do before. Against Hyrule. So I already took him out. I forget if Hyrule or a different one is the one. We may want to not even attack it with the normal combo at all and instead do this. Oh, again. I tried against the other bosses, it doesn't seem to work really well. So I was assuming it also didn't work well in Hyrule. Doesn't seem to really do much. Maybe with enhancement controller, it's going to be a broken way to quickly match them. Let's do the best. To make that worthwhile. Let's go right into using magic, try and get built up again. That's good. Right at the end anyway. Got a couple of tokens now, so at least will help out a bit. Yeah, boss is defeated. We'll move on to the next one. Using one special seems to be the way to defeat those enemies again. Very annoying, but what can you do? To be fair, specials are pretty powerful where if you save them up enough, you can defeat almost any giant boss using just those. Alright, well that's that battle done, but before we do something else, we have a certain annoyance to take care of. Find it. Boy, important to show. Here he is. Alright, get out, Sonic. Leave, never come back. There we go. Now I'll see you guys when the timer is concluded and battle within the next round. Until then, see you guys in any minutes. Alright, timer is concluded, and with it, the battle as well. Alright, now just one more brave battle to go. We'll be out of his mess for a little bit. Except we're gonna be back in it again when we do the next character and the character after that. Honestly, I don't know which one. Oh wait, yeah, wait, there's a clear candidate for which one I keep. Yeah, there we go. We'll probably be using Lana quite a bit in the actual playthrough, so we'll definitely want to use their specials when we get a chance. They're pretty broken against... Even if you're not using, like, magic or stuff, Lana naturally just does a lot of damage against just using these against the so they could be pretty useful even on the hardest difficulty. Bit more tougher to do stuff like that. Anyways, one more brave battle with Toon Zelda will be on with her brave battle part, and rather the first part of this video for challenge mode for Toon Zelda. Yeah, not much else to say there. Okay, I did not do this correctly the last couple of videos. They're just gonna do that. That's gonna be really annoying to set up. Oh, okay. Well, they finally gave me a consistent pattern, so looks like we're doing it this way here. Barely perfect. Oh my gosh. This is really tight. Line here. I was gonna do this somewhat different, but half of the other time we try to just take these things out one at a time, it just doesn't work. So this is the battle where I like to use the Magic Fountain over and over again. Now it's suddenly not working. So if I'm a little bit off, very tight. Attack. Forget. That's probably faster. Alright, now let's quickly just take out this Goma over on the right instead of the one I was gonna initially take out before. I know it's next to use, but I find it easier to just take this one away, especially since it does not have the best of abilities here. Right, he's running away again. Alright, idiot, go on, please attack, okay? I get that she's trying to run back to her normal spot. It's a little bit annoying. Right in front of the face. Okay. I think just running this strategy is probably safer. When it's in front. It means where that fountain uses. Very magic uses. Well, here's the top. Whoa, get hit by Toon. Wow. See what I mean? She got up before I could even use this signal. That's what makes her so boosted. Yep, magic right high. So we're just gonna do this instead. No waste, but what can you do? This is why you want to make sure your stays down, or else it just is really. need to hit a few more enemies to get back. Special Fountain Plus again. This now, though, I guess. He was really immediately ready for that. We're gonna get rid of these stupid mana and stuff before they do any more annoyance. Give them stupid redeads next, so they don't get the stupid annoying thing. Now we're gonna move on. Attacking the Savagula. Gotta get over here. I'm gonna use magic wave to do it right now. It'd be helpful if Goma actually attacked me for once. Oh, he actually did the right thing. That was very lucky. Sometimes you does not do that right away. What makes it so risky once you do not you like one hit away from laying it down too. That's what makes her so annoying now. You see why she's my least favorite boss to take out? It's really hard to consistently take down. Special probably should have been used for invincibility out of my way here, but he's also not attacking me, so that helps out, I guess. We don't have an attack, so we'll just have to get up, unfortunately. Stuck on his strategy, may as well use it now. Still can. I was hoping to get at least one other one, but it's too far away, unfortunately. Stick with the one. Straight at them over and over again until they fall down. Alright. Do that again here as well. It's honestly pretty strong, but not having block or whatever. I mean, no anti-boss formula. Pretty strong, honestly. No, by the way, we're not really attacking these fins. It takes too long to take them out otherwise. Yeah, just exactly enough for that. yes, 3 dead, and 30 now. Alright, now with that done, I'll see you guys when the time is concluded. With it, the battle as well. See ya. Alrighty, guys. The timer is concluded. With it, the battle as well. We got another fast ending there. And yes, with that, that means we are done with the first part of Toon Zelda's Challenge Mode. Now I will see you guys, in the next part, where we take on the second half of Toon Zelda's Challenge Mode. Until then, see you amazing girls in the next video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye.